Okay, so this is the second devlog that I'm doing for the one game a month game jam. 18 days left in the game jam. Theme is rebirth. So here is my game. So you can see it looks a little bit different from the first devlog. I have all of the core game mechanics now. Whoops. So I have the enemies. I have the rebirth chambers. I have spawners for the enemy. I have a player exit. If I click on one of, say, the enemy spawners, I've changed the spawners so you can have a maximum number of enemies. So this one is 2. This one will spawn 5. This one will spawn 3. And obviously there's a min spawn time and a max spawn time. And it basically will, each time an enemy is spawned, it will randomly choose a value between the min and the max. So that kind of varies how often they spawn. But I guess I'll quickly show you the game. So if I click play, so here you can see there's a rebirth capsule up the top right. You can see I've got my health, it's now red. You'll see now it's flashing because my health is low. So the top right, it's flashing. There we go, so I've died. And you can see the respawn that I came out of is now empty. So another respawn chamber, there's another one. So if I was to die, and if I go into the exit, you can see exit entered, level completed. So obviously that would go to the next level. So I have all of the core functionality that's required for the game to work. So if you look at my little plan, you can see that I started to track things. So now I'm creating the devlog 2. But for the to-dos, obviously I need to create an animation of the rebirth capsule, having the player come out. Create a player death animation. I want to create a circular saw hazard that kills the player, so that would be obviously animated. Create enemy death animations, maybe create some blood particle effects. Obviously I'll need to create menus and sound effects and things like that, but that's just what I have so far. But you can see that all of the core game mechanics is there. So what I might do is quickly show you, say, the script for the respawning. So I might, whoops, there we go, zoom in a bit. Alright, so basically when when you die, a signal gets emitted, and I basically minus 100 score, and then I basically check with the game manager. I get respawn points count, and if it's greater than 0, meaning that there's respawn capsules available to respawn into, then I set the health back to maximum health, I set the health bar back to the maximum health, and then I respawn at a rebirth chamber. So down here you can see get respawn points, which basically is just this here. So get treat of get nosing group rebirth chamber. So if the size is not null, then we come down here and I make the nearest respawn point equal the first respawn point in the array. Then I loop through it and I basically am checking the respawn points global position dot distance to global position, which is the player, because this is the player file, and I'm making sure that it's less than what is currently set as the nearest respawn point. So if it is less than the current respawn point, then I set the nearest respawn point to this one because it's closer. So then I basically make the player, this is the player's position, equal the nearest respawn point dot global position. So it'll pop into there, and then the respawn point that you've just respawned into, I remove it from the rebirth chamber group so that you can no longer respawn to it. Then I change the texture to be the empty chamber sprite, and then I emit a respawn signal, because there's certain things that when you respawn it does things in other nodes, like the user interface, for example, will update how many respawn points is there. So that's basically what I did for the respawn points, which I think was pretty good. So the game is certainly coming along, and I should be able to complete the game because I've got all the core functionality for the Rebirth theme and the Rebirth game. Obviously, you know, you maybe want to drop things when the enemy dies, like maybe extra health or power-ups or whatever. But the game certainly looks like it should be completable because, well, I've already got the basic functionality there. So let me know what you think anyway, any ideas or whatever, and I will see you in the next devlog.